गवर्नमेंट ऑफ कैनेडा ने अनाउंस किया कि न्यू ग्रीन बिल्डिंग स्ट्रैटेजी ताकि कैनेडियंस अपने ਜਿਹੜੇ एनर्जी बिल्स है वो सेव कर सकन। सो ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ 800 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਦੀ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਅਨਾਉਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਆਫ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੀ। ਪਹਿਲੇ ਜੋ $5000 ਦਾ ਗ੍ਰਾਂਟ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗਸ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਐਫੀਸ਼ੀਐਂਟ ਬਣਾਓ, ਉਹਨੂੰ એનર્ਜੀ ਸੇਵਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗਸ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਬਣਾਓ। ਹੁਣ ਗ੍ਰੀਨ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟਜੀ ਦੇ ਤਹਿਤ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਆਫ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਨੇ 800 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਦੀ ਅਨਾਉਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਗ੍ਰੀਨਰ ਹੋਮਸ ਅਫੋਰਡੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ, ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਤਹਿਤ $800 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਦੀ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਮੈਂਟ ਔਰ $5000 ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਜੋ ਗ੍ਰਾਂਟ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਓਵਰਲੈਪ ਕਰਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਹਟ ਗਿਆ $5000 ਦਾ। ਸੋ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰੈਟਰੋਫਿਟਸ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇੰਸਟਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੀਟ ਪੰਪਸ, ਆਇਲ ਪੰਪਸ ਔਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ એનર્ਜੀ ਸੇਵਿੰਗ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਹੈ, ਇਮਿਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏ। ਇਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਅਗਰ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ canada.ca ਜਾਂ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਆਫ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੈ, ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗਸ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੋਰ ਐਫੀਸ਼ੀਐਂਟ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸੋ ਆਹ ਅਨਾਉਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਿਊ ਗ੍ਰੀਨ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟਜੀ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਆਫ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੀ ਅਨਾਉਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ। ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪੂਰੀ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ।
So today we are announcing the release of Canada's Green Building Strategy. It's about how do we help to retrofit buildings and homes all around us. How do we build clean buildings going forward? And that's important because like in the city of Toronto, it's the highest source of emissions, but it's also important because that it deals with our energy bills. So how do we reduce energy bills while making sure that we're reducing emissions? Green buildings is a big part of that strategy.
Good morning, this is Nitin Chopra from Prime Asia TV. My question is for Julie. Since this 800 million of investment in this new program will replace the $5,000 grant, question is this project only for the commercial buildings or the residential also? And across Canada, if someone has to upgrade their residential houses, is any direct or indirect cost for them to upgrade their buildings for the energy efficient to install the direct retrofits, or there won't be any cost to the homeowners?
Is the Greener Homes loans, which means that homeowners can get access to a $40,000 loan interest-free. And so that is a way for homeowners to access funding to be able to help retrofit their homes. If people have lower or median incomes, then there's a new program that's come available that we've announced, and it is funded in the last budget that we announced, which is the funding program that you have just heard about. It's going to become available in different provinces at different times as we're negotiating with provinces and territories for delivery, but that will give a person up to $20,000 up front towards the retrofit of their homes. And that's really important because that's what we're hearing. The programs are very popular. People do want to retrofit their homes. So those are two of the programs. There's also the oil to heat pump program, which is also available if you have oil heating. And in some provinces, the federal funding is actually being increased by support from the provinces as well.
This question is out of the other context in terms of the crime. We have seen high rise in the crime, and you yourself were a victim of car thefts. And what is the hurdles in front of Government of Canada in terms of making changes to the criminal code? Because a couple of years ago also we heard that Justice Department is working to make the changes in the criminal code, and today international media is projecting Canada as a hub for capital of the car theft market. And recent example of a biggest gold heist in Canadian history, second biggest, the criminal who was caught in US is facing trial and may face 20 years of prison. All other criminals here in Canada, they are enjoying their luxury lives, and they are repeated offenders sitting at their houses enjoying their luxury lives. Why we leave them? Don't we have enough prisons? Or government knows everything, so why we are leaving them again and again? Because police, they are also helpless, chiefs are helpless. Why can't we keep criminals behind the bars? It's a question to the Justice Department. Thank you.
So thank you for the question. And what I'd just respectfully point out to you is that we've amended the criminal code twice in the last 10 months vis-a-vis specifically what you're referring to. So the first amendment was Bill C-48, which passed with unanimous consent in Parliament in September. and that dealt with bail reform, which included things like violent carjackings where people use a weapon. Any serious violent repeat offenders that are using weapons were provided we provided what's called a reverse onus. So the presumption was no bail unless they can prove why bail is deserved. Secondly, what I would just point out for your edification is that in June, in the budget, which passed before we adjourned for the summer recess, we again had the ability to pass amendments to the criminal code despite conservative opposition in that context. But the changes we made to the criminal code address specifically violent carjackings, which we are starting to see, and included enhanced penalties for such incidences. You heard me respond in French to the previous journalist about changes that we made where organized criminals are using youth in the commission of crimes. We also addressed the fact that when organized criminality is behind an orchestrated auto theft situation, that enhanced penalties will be put in place. So the criminal code has been amended twice with respect to violent offenders and with respect to auto theft. We've also invested almost $170 million in everything from Interpol to the CBSA to scanning devices. I hope you followed the recent announcements. I also hope you followed the news today that's reported by CTV News that in the first quarter of this year, auto thefts were actually declining. So that's showing you that the investments that we're making, criminal code changes we're making, are taking root. That's important. There's still a lot more work to be done. I'm in constant contact with the GTA police chiefs as well as in Quebec, because that's where the nub of the problem is, but how we can further strengthen our protection on this. With respect to the question you asked, Julie, I would just also point out that we're making initiatives to help Canadians in their pocketbooks with a number of things that they can do to help reduce their own climate footprint. This strategy is about large-scale changes to your home, but there's also, I would be remiss not to note that yesterday was the second anniversary, the second quarterly payment of the Canada Carbon Rebate. For a family of 4 in the GTA, for example, that's $280 in your pocket, which you could then use to think about, do I want to buy a different appliance, do I want to buy a different thermostat to reduce your carbon footprint. That's the way our government operates in terms of delivering for people's affordability needs and addressing climate action at the same time. Merci. Thank you.
ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਗ੍ਰੀਨ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟਜੀ ਜਾਰੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਵੱਡੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਣਨ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗਜ਼ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕਾਰਬਨ ਐਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਘਟਾ ਕੇ ਵਾਤਾਵਰਣ ਉੱਪਰ ਪੈਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਮਾੜੇ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵ ਨੂੰ ਘੱਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ। ਨਵੀਂ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟਜੀ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਦਿੰਦਿਆਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਆਫ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਅਤੇ ਅਟਾਰਨੀ ਜਨਰਲ ਸਮੇਤ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਡੈਨਫੋਰਥ ਤੋਂ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਆਫ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟਜੀ ਤਹਿਤ ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਤਾਵਰਣ ਪੱਖੀ ਤਰੀਕਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ-ਨਾਲ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਬਿੱਲਜ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਗਿਰਾਵਟ ਆਵੇਗੀ, ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਵਿੱਤੀ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ।
Today, as we've all weathered through to get here, and I thank you for doing that. It's a good example of why resiliency and adaptation is so important. And it also points to why fighting climate change is important as we face these large weather events. And benefits of this strategy are going to help to reduce our carbon footprint, but at the same time, it creates good paying jobs, builds a green economy, and it will help to reduce energy bills.
We're talking about this new Canada Green Building Strategy, and Julie is taking me through a lot of it, but the goal of this strategy is really very simple. It's about improving the energy efficiency of homes and buildings and helping to reduce energy bills, that's the placard right in front of me, and supporting good work and sustainable work here in Toronto, but literally right across the country. Together with the leadership of the Prime Minister, we are taking action to fight climate change while prioritizing affordability in Canadian communities, creating a path to a clean energy future for our country, and at the same time saving all of you money.